It's fine. It's technology. Sometimes technology doesn't work the way we want it to work. It just
Yeah,
happens. Okay. So how was your day?
today is good, and today is a very busy day.
Very busy day. Okay. It's a Wednesday, so you did karate, didn't you?
Yes, and I forgot my student home today.
You forgot your?
It's lucky my my uniform, my
Oh, yes.
karate. It's lucky for me that the teacher don't don't
Doesn't.
doesn't wait. What question is that? I forgot. Um, no, I don't know. What is that?
Okay. So
He
your
didn't
karate,
say anything.
oh, he didn't moan at you.
He crossed out my thoughts
Okay. It
like that.
happened. Yeah, he didn't get cross. That's good though. At least you were still able to participate in your lesson, even in plain clothes. Hello, brother. Okay, he's walking around waving a book.
Um, he just want to ignoring me. No, shut up. No, shut up. No.
A shame. Okay, so what did you do today that was so busy? Okay, I know you had karate.
I have school in the morning, in the afternoon. Then I have the karate and I have lunch.
I know you have English. So your Wednesdays are pretty busy.
Yeah, Wednesday and Sunday.
Wednesday and Sunday. Okay, so when does your year end?
Wait,
Like your school year?
what do you mean? Can you ask again?
Okay, when does your school year end? Like when do you go to the next grade, the next class?
Tomorrow?
No.
Tomorrow is
Okay, so now
Thursday?
you're in grade class five, grade five, aren't you?
We're six.
Grade six. Okay, so when are you going to go to grade seven?
Um, the 5th of September, the 6th of September next year. The
Next
5th
year.
of September.
Okay, so your year ends like September. Okay, so when do you go on holiday? What's your last day usually of grade six?
The last day is usually at April,
April.
at 28, about 28 to 30 April.
Okay.
I don't know what's about in the secondary school, but in my primary school it's like that.
Okay, and then you get about 6 months holiday where you don't go to school.
Yeah.
Okay, your country works very different to my country because we have little
Okay.
holidays in between. So our year starts in January. In January, you start your new grade. So in January, you start grade one, two, three, whatever the case is. Then
Okay.
January, February, March. March, you have a holiday, which is like 2 weeks. Then
Okay.
April, May, June, you have a long holiday, which is like a month. Then July, August,
Okay.
September. September, you have another short holiday, which is like 2 weeks. And then December to January, you get a month in between again. And that's how my country works. So we don't get one long 6 month holiday. We get
Yeah,
little,
because my country don't have snow, so we don't have matter when it's too cold. So when the weather is colder than before, we just change the time we start school is a little like later. Yeah,
uh,
like usually we are start school at 7 o'clock. So on that day we will start at 7 to 5. No,
Okay.
7 past 5.
5:07. 5:07.
Yeah.
Seven
No.
minutes past five means you start school earlier.
Because yeah, I was squabbed up because in Vietnamese we talk about the hours first and the minutes after.
Okay, yes. Don't worry, you say it that way. Afrikaans is backwards. Because you know if you say 7:30 means it's 7:30.
Yeah, I know.
In Afrikaans, they say half acht, which means half 8, which means it's half an hour to 8 o'clock. But if you had to write it down, you write it 7:30.
Okay.
Yes. So some languages do things a little differently, which is cool. It's all about your language and embracing your language. So it's a good thing. Okay.
Yeah.
You seem very happy today.
I don't know why today I have small one.
Busy day, but you're a happy chappy. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but it's like that.
Now it's fine. Okay, so we were busy with this the last time I saw you. Okay. So we finished that page. Okay, now we are looking at this page. Why does this page look like it's eh, okay. I can't read. Can you read?
No.
I visited Mother Teresa's house in Calcutta. I was impressed by her life and faith. Okay. I went to somewhere to ski. It was amazing to see the snow-covered something mountains. Okay. They made a copy of this page and they put it up, and I really cannot actually read much else.
Um,
Okay, I learned people are different in different places. It was the first time for me to take a double-decker bus. The mountains and lakes there are much more beautiful than any I had seen before. Okay, so that's what I can read. Okay, but we were talking about like your most memorable trip, your most memorable holiday, which you said you remember all of them. Okay, so now I'm going to need you to pick one. So think of one holiday that you went on that you feel like talking about. Okay, so your essay needs to have where I went and who I went with, how I felt before the trip. So were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you happy? Were you sad? What the weather was like. Was the weather nice and good? Was it bad weather? Did it rain? Okay.
okay.
What I did every day. So it's called an itinerary. Have you heard that word before?
Can you repeat?
Have you heard the word itinerary before?
No.
Okay. Itinerary means um it's like a list of what you do. Okay. So for example, let me show you here. Okay, you will say, let's just say you get there Saturday morning. Okay, so you'll go Saturday. You'll go 7 a.m. unpack because now you've reached your place. You say 8 a.m. walk to the beach. 11 a.m. have lunch. Okay,
Hello.
so this, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, I can hear
Uh,
you.
but I can't hear you. I hear you like a robot.
You hear me like a robot.
Yes.
Okay, that's not good. Okay, can you hear me properly now? Because you are moving properly now.
Um, the voice, yes, but the screen is not.
Okay.
The screen and view is not, but the voice is okay.
Okay, let's look again. Okay, so your itinerary is literally tell me what you did. So say Saturday, I got up at 7 a.m. We walked to the beach. We played at the beach until 12. We came home. We had lunch. We went to go see, I don't know, the Statue of Liberty. Okay, so tell me what you did, when you did it. Was it Saturday? Was it Sunday? Was it Friday? I don't know how many days you went away for. Okay. Um,
Okay.
the most interesting event. So what was the most interesting thing that happened when you went away? And why it was
Okay.
so memorable. So you can tell me why you enjoyed it so much.
So, okay. Let's see. Mm,
Okay, you don't have to talk about it now. You can tell me that on Sunday. Okay. Must I send it to you on WhatsApp?
wait. No, I didn't see it yet.
Okay, no, I said must I send it to you on WhatsApp? Okay, I just sent it to you. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, there. Share.
Okay, I see, but it's loading.
It's loading. Okay. No, it might take a while. Okay. So now here, let us change the sentences into questions. Okay, so where I went and who I went with changes to where did you go on your most memorable trip and who did you go with? Okay, so number two, how I felt before the trip. How will you change that into a question?
Um, how do you felt How did you felt before the trip?
Okay, it's how did you feel, not
Before
felt,
the trip.
before
Oh,
the trip or your trip? Okay. Oh, question mark. Okay. Point three, what the weather was like.
what was the weather like?
Yes. What was the oops weather like? Okay. Point four. What I did every day.
Um, what what did you did every day?
Okay,
What
what
did you do every day?
yes, not did do. Good. What did you do every day? Okay, point five. The most interesting event.
What's the most interesting event?
Okay, what was the most interesting event? Okay, now point six. Why it was so memorable.
Why was it so memorable?
Why was it so memorable? Good. Memorable. Okay. Okay. New topic. Oops. I was meant to clear the writing and I stopped sharing. Okay. So now it's history. How well do you do in history?
Wait, can you repeat?
Okay. Our new lesson 3, is its history. So how well do you do in history?
History.
Yes.
This is just thing that happened in the past.
Yes, history is what happened in the past.
Okay, what do you ask?
Okay. At school, do you do history?
Yes,
Okay. And how well do you do in history?
very bad though.
Very bad.
I have I have 60 65% of history
Okay.
in the midterm test.
Okay, 65% is not too bad. It's not great, but it's not too bad. I could never remember
Yeah,
dates. I was terrible at dates. Okay.
yeah. But we
So,
don't have to go date. The date is just in grade 4 and 5. And now we just learn about like the culture in the past.
okay, so you're just learning about like how things changed and what happened and what wars and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the last one we learn about the China in the past. Like
China
that.
in the past. Okay. So now, if you look at these two pictures, before you read this here, so let me hide that quickly. Okay, so before you read this column, what do you think those two pictures are showing us? How well do you know your history?
Okay, the first one is the astronaut in somewhere, I don't know. Maybe in the
Yeah,
moon.
yes, on the moon. That was NASA's first moon landing. Okay, and this, it's a very, very, very famous ship,
This look like Titanic.
Titanic. Yes, it's the Titanic. Okay, so this is the NASA's first trip to the moon, and this is the Titanic, obviously before the Titanic sunk. Okay, so
Okay.
let me make that disappear. Okay, so we have here the first moon landing. This writing is terrible. Okay, if you can only see my eyeball, I'm sorry, but I need to. Okay, the first moon landing, the sinking of the Titanic, passenger, captain, the crew, astronaut, lifeboat, iceberg, warning, land, the moon. Okay, so do you know who was the first man to land on the moon?
I I remember that it have two words, but I just remember one is wait, Armstrong.
Yes, it
Armstrong.
is Neil Armstrong. Yeah, because Lance Armstrong is a cyclist. Okay, there's two famous Armstrongs. Okay. And do you know anybody that was involved in the Titanic?
Wait, can you repeat?
Okay, do you know anybody who was involved with the Titanic, like the captain or a crew member? You know what the
I
cap
don't really understand.
you don't
Yes, I
understand.
know.
Okay. Let's Google. Google is my friend because I'm not even sure who was on the Titanic. I just know it's sunk. Okay. What was the Titanic captain's name? Okay. It was Edward Smith.
Edward
Okay.
Smith.
Yeah. So Edward Smith was the sea captain for the Titanic. Okay. So Edward Smith and his last whereabouts as the ship sank to the bottom of the Atlantic have always been a bit of a mystery. Okay, so Edward Smith died with the ship. He didn't get off with his passengers. Okay.
Uh,
Okay, so what other historic events do you know of? What other historic events have you learnt about?
Hmm. History event. Wait, I'm very bad at this. I don't know anything. I don't understand.
Okay, unfortunately, I know South African history. I know about like the Anglo-Boer War and things like that. I cannot tell you about any Vietnamese history or Chinese history.
Okay.
Okay, so think about a historic event that you would like to learn about, because then we can Google the entire thing and we can learn about it together.
Yes, I Googled history events and it's pop out. The first one is 25 decade defining events in US history.
Okay, that's US history. Do you want to do... Okay, let's do it this way. Let's make some fun out of this. Okay, I'm going to draw like this, and I'm going to give us words. So let's say USA. Let's say VIE, that's Vietnam.
Okay.
SA, that's South Africa. UK, that is English. Uh, AUS, that's Australia. Uh, that's China. Can you think of any other places?
Um, uh, Cambodia?
Cambodia. You seem to like that place. Okay, I'm just gonna put CAM. So now what I want
No.
you to do,
Yes. No, I'm not like I like Cambodia because but it's like our next door
oh,
country.
yes, it's your next door country. Okay, so what I'm going to do, or what I'm going to tell you to do, is you are going to choose your little pen thingy from Zoom, close your eyes, and then swivel it around, and then just click. And then wherever it clicks, we are going to search for some historic event in that place.
Okay.
Okay, try again.
Okay. Okay. Around. Oh, what is that? Okay. Around. Is it
That was
anything?
completely off the page. You're not very good
Okay.
at this.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
what?
very close to Vietnam.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
SA.
Okay.
Okay, so you are going to learn about a historic event from my country. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what did I do? Okay, so let's show you. Okay. Historic events in South historical events in South Africa. Okay. Uh, okay. Most famous historical events. Okay, so the 10 most historical events. Okay, there was slavery in South Africa. Um, the slave disobedience. Then, oh, South Africa's new flag, South Africa's first president. But that's not the ones we learned. I'm looking for. Okay, what about Hitler and the Nazis? Did you not learn about that?
Wait,
Okay. Did you learn about Hitler?
what is Hitler?
Have you not heard about Adolf Hitler? Okay,
No.
this was Adolf Hitler. He was a German extremist.
He
Okay,
looks familiar with his beard, with his mustache,
with
but
his
I don't know
mustache.
his
Yes,
name.
it's become a very big thing. Okay, so what he did is he persecuted the Jews and he put them in concentration camps. Okay, so what Adolf Hitler did is all of the Jewish people, because he believed Jewish people were not pure blood. So he would put them in concentration camps, and in those concentration camps, there were gas chambers. So they would end up gassing, they were like prisoners. The Jewish people became prisoners.
Okay.
So these are the Jewish people in concentration camps. The Nazis would break into people's houses. They would arrest all Jewish people, including the children. Even the children got killed. They weren't treated very nicely. They weren't given food. They weren't looked after. So it was a very, very terrible, terrible event. Okay, so what do we need to know? We need to know what historic event do you know about? Okay, so I just told you about Hitler. When did it take place? Okay, so when did Hitler yeah, when did Hitler's reign begin? Okay, so Hitler's reign began in 1933. So he was Austrian-born German politician who was a dictator of Germany from 1933 until his death in 1945. So it was just over 10 years that he was in power. He rose
Okay.
to power as the leader of the Nazi Party. The Nazi sign was this here, which I think you know and you've seen. Have you?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the Nazi sign. So all the Germans used to walk around with a badge over here that had the Nazi sign. And then the Jewish people were made to walk around wearing the six-pointed star because that's the star for Judaism on their arm. Okay. Oops. Okay. What happened? Okay, so I told you what happened. He persecuted Jews and killed them in gas chambers. Okay, so that's like the easy bit of it. So when you do the homework for this one, you can Google, look up a historic event that you would like to talk about. It doesn't necessarily have to be Mr. Adolf Hitler. But yeah, that's who I was using to explain the lesson. Okay, so here I'm going to send this to you on WhatsApp. Okay, here you are going to have to fill in that for me. Okay. Okay, so now let's look at this page. At least we can read this page. Okay, so the event here, the sinking of the Titanic, how people remember it. So they remember the Titanic as being the largest and most luxurious ship of its time, but it didn't have enough lifeboats. So that's where the problem came in, and that is why a lot of the people died on the Titanic. Because if there was enough lifeboats, enough people could get on a lifeboat and save themselves. Okay. The first moon landing, people remember Neil Armstrong saying, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Okay, and what do you think that saying means?
What?
This one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. What do you think it means? What do you think they're trying to say?
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. What is leap?
Okay, leap is like a very large jump.
Boom. Okay. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. I don't know. I don't really understand about it.
Okay. So they mean in like figurative terms that the moon landing was one small step for man. So the man landed on the moon, he took one small step. But he says it's a
Yeah.
giant leap for mankind, meaning that it's going to open a whole new lot of possibilities for mankind. Um, it gives mankind more possibilities of space travel and
Okay.
space exploration. So even though for him, he just made one small step on the moon, it was a great big achievement for mankind and it opened a whole lot of doors for mankind. Do you sort of understand?
Okay.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay. So now they want to know, what did you learn from the historic events? So what did you learn from the sinking of the Titanic?
What I learned a bit. I don't know. I
Okay.
just know about a bit.
Okay. It's a big disaster can happen from a small mistake because the captain thought he saw a little iceberg, but he didn't see the big iceberg underneath. Because okay, how much do you know about icebergs?
Can you repeat what is it?
How much do you
Axe.
know about icebergs?
Can you write that?
Okay, so let me show you. I'm gonna have to do this in. Okay, the iceberg is gonna be purple because I can't make the iceberg white. Okay, here's the tip of the iceberg. This is what people see. Okay, but okay, here's the water. So this is the part that the people see, but they don't realize that
Okay.
under the water, the iceberg is so much bigger.
All right.
Okay, so
Understand.
this part here. Okay, so now a ship doesn't float on the water. There's a big part of the ship that is under the water. Okay, especially if it's a big,
Yeah.
big ship. So there's your big, big
Yes.
ship. So the captain who sits here, excuse my lovely drawing, only saw this tiny little piece of an iceberg here. He didn't see the rest of it over here. So he bumped into this section here that was under the water. So his small
Okay.
mistake by thinking this was small ended in a big disaster.
Okay. And the water is rushing in.
Yes, and then the water rushed in, and then the ship sunk and is now lying in my pen. Oh, wrong way. It's now lying upside down in the water with a big hole and maybe a friendly octopus that lives in it.
Okay.
Okay. And what lessons can be learned from the moon landing?
The moon landing. The moon
Yeah.
landing.
If you think of humans going to the moon, how does that make you feel?
I feel a little nervous.
A little nervous. Okay. But like what can you learn from it? Like what does it make you think? Like how humans are, you know, able to do incredible things. Our bodies are stronger than we think. We are stronger than we think.
Mm, I don't know.
Okay, because to go to the moon, it's not easy. It's not something that you just decide one day and say, I'm going to go to the moon. You have to think about it. You have to think of the pros. You have to think of the cons. But if you want to
Yeah.
do it, and if you, train the way that they train you, you do everything you meant to, then you can be a great person and there's a fly and go to the moon.
Okay. Like somebody that told me that people human can do everything, just offer what they want to do or not.
Yes. So if you put your mind to it, you could probably do it. I'm not talking about, stupid things like one human being picking up the Titanic, if you understand what I
Okay.
mean. One person who
Yeah.
is this big is not going to be able to move something that is that big just by, using his hands. But if you put your mind
All
to getting
right.
100% for a maths test, you could probably get that 100% for a maths test.
All right.
Okay. So if you could think of what is something that you wouldn't mind doing, a good historical event? Like, would you like to go to the moon? Would you like to be known as, what was that lady called? Can't remember her name. I've gone blank. She was a nun and she did a lot of good things and she helped a lot of children. She was also a nurse. Oh, what is her name? I can't
I
remember.
know. I know about.
I can't remember. Okay, we'll have to
I don't know
come.
who is it.
We're gonna have to come back to that one. Um, let me Google it. Okay, the famous nun. Oh, Mother Teresa. There we go. Have you ever heard of Mother Teresa?
No.
Okay, Mother Teresa was a nun, and okay, wait. Let's go back and let's read about Mother Teresa. Okay. Roman Catholic Church has Saint Teresa of Calcutta. Okay. She was famous pretty much for helping people. Okay, we've actually got less than a minute left. We only have a minute left until quarter past. Okay, so we are then finished for today. So your homework for the lesson we just did will be next week or on Sunday.
Okay.
Okay. I'll see you on
Okay.
Okay. I'll see you on Sunday.